What if you don't have any blocks? What if there are no blocks to the life you want to live, no matter how hard you keep looking for them? It sounds too good to be true, right? Because if you're like most people, you believe you have blocks in the way of getting the life you most desire. Otherwise, you'd already have that life, yes? Well, I've got some interesting information for you. Check this out. The spiritual and devotional products market was valued at $3.9 billion US in 2024 and is expected to reach $8.5 billion by 2034. The spiritual services market alone, your programs, your courses, your retreats, your master classes, was valued at $376 billion, yes, billion US dollars in 2024, with projections for growth beyond 2035. You can look it up. With all of this growth, this amount of expansion, this many people reaching for, grasping at enlightenment, you'd think there'd be more shiny, happy people walking around in abundant bliss, free of their abundance blocks, right? Or at the very least, with all the energy, attention, and money you've spent on books, courses, masterminds, retreats, personal coaching, you ought to be living the life of your dreams now too, right? Okay. So why aren't you free of your blocks to further expansion? If you're just finding me, I'm 𝐋𝐢𝐻𝐿, and I am not your love and light mentor. If you like this content, please support my channel with a like, a comment, and subscribe to this channel if you want to hear more. It helps me, it helps the channel, it helps other spiritual folks like yourself find my content and expand from it. So, back to my question. Why aren't you free of your abundance blocks to further expansion? Because, number one, you don't actually have any blocks, but you may believe you do. And number two, there's a very lucrative industry, the spiritual marketplace, convincing you of such, convincing you that you have blocks, persuading you that it has the solution to what's wrong. I'm going to talk about that more in a minute. And not only that, but that there's a training you can take to become certified in clearing someone else's blocks. Well, guess what? I'm going to tell you what you already knew. Most of it is bullshit. And I know that might sting, but hey, pump the brakes. Just wait until you hear this next part. This all might hit a little too close to home for some of you, feeling like you've been swindled by the spiritual marketplace. But please know this about me before you listen any further. I had to get radically honest with myself about what I was teaching, sharing, and what I was personally contributing to the toxic and misinformed marketplace of spiritual enlightenment. And I've been in it for 20 plus years now. And as a result of questioning myself deeply and getting radically honest and back in alignment with my own integrity, I stopped doing almost all of it, except for what I do right now. So I don't exempt myself from anything I'm saying here. I just woke the fuck up and I shifted my work entirely to what I do now. And now, the clients who come to work with me, the clients who come for my help, they feel more disillusioned than ever because of the barrage of spiritual half-truths, recycled metaphysical teachings. They just don't make sense anymore. They don't add up. They don't work. And so in light of what feels like a global scale identity shift, they, like you, want to be liberated from all the strategy, all the striving, all the reaching, the grasping, the desperation, the spiritual micromanaging of trying to heal or clear their abundance blocks once and for all. And finally, with something that actually works to bring their original frequency back online and back into harmony with the flow of life. And I found that there are two things that are contributing to this exponential growth of the spiritual awakening products and services marketplace that we're seeing. The first one is a belief that fundamentally there is something wrong that needs to be fixed. This underlying foundational premise of something being wrong is something you had instilled in you from the time you were a younger version of yourself, a tiny human, and you learned to look at life through the lens of what's wrong. There's something wrong. It's a problem and I need to fix it. This has become your cognitive bias. You've trained your reticular activating system, one of the most primordial and very functional systems in your body, that helps you to have cognitive resonance with the belief that something is wrong, meaning you're always going to find stuff in your reality, in the mirror of your world, to confirm that. I'm going to talk about that more in a second. And the second thing that's contributing to this exponential growth of the spiritual awakening products and services marketplace that we're seeing is that the solution is just one more energy activation, one more belief clearing, one more money code infusion, or one more goddess retreat away. And the one common denominator to all of that makes you the ultimate spiritual consumer, driving this marketplace to be so profitable, is this: that there is something, anything, that is not you as the cause of what bedevils you. It's the planets. It's that entity attachment. It's the energy vampire. It's the world. It's the politics. It's your mom. It's your dad. What is keeping you right now from having all the peace, purpose, prosperity you can imagine is only your own resistance to it. You gatekeeping it. And that gatekeeping is wrapped up in everything you think you believe you know, bound to the feelings you still refuse to feel, digest, resolve. And all of that wrapped up as your power currently being misused. It's all the power, in other words, you hide from yourself in these illusions. What's keeping you from everything you say you want and so much more is your own double-mindedness in saying that all is one, while also saying, okay, that's true, but only up to a point. I'm sorry, what? Open your heart, open your ears, open your mind, and consider this possibility I'm going to lay out in front of you here. What if it's true that the inability that you might have to following through in thinking and moving from the idea that all is one, and to carry that into every single aspect of your life without exception, that your inability to do that, your own feelings of I don't want to do that, has got you so tied up in knots of confusion, frustration, and desperation, so much so that you still hold on to the notion that there is something not you causing all this fuckery. How is there not you if you are one with everything? And so what's causing all this fuckery? Sorry, not sorry, it's you. Because then there you are again, FOMOing at the mouth. Yes, I did come up with that today. And for those of you who don't know what FOMO is, FOMO, fear of missing out. It's a wonderful marketing and sales premise that gets you to click and buy because there's a sense of urgency for you to do so, that if you miss out, you're going to fall apart, or life will never be the same. So there you are again, when you're caught up in this confusion, these conflicting ideas that you are one, but the reason that you don't have something is because it's something outside of you causing all this fuckery, creating blocks. Then there you are again, FOMOing at the mouth at each new repackaging, clever rebranding of just another misunderstood spiritual half-truth that this time, fingers and toes crossed, hopefully is going to finally help you figure out what's wrong when there's actually nothing wrong. So just breathe and come into presence for a second. And forgive yourself for all of it. It's okay. I fell for it too. I even taught from this until I didn't. So let me simplify this for you even further before you waste another dime on endlessly recycled spiritual fluff from another guru with a shiny solution. Okay, breathe. Breathe in from the belly. I'm not talking about short, shallow chest breathing. I'm talking about deep in the belly. And then out through the mouth. And then tune back in. Let me float some questions to you here. If it's all you and you are one with everything, you are everything, you are all that which is and everything is now, then what are your blocks? If it's all you, what are you attracting or manifesting with the law of attraction? If it's all you, what are those entities and attachments, energy vampires, messing with you? If it's all you, and you are one with everything, it must also imply that all is now, and everything you could ever want is already here and available, that creation is finished, because it's all now. So then, what are you quantum leaping to? If it's all you, then that must also imply that you are infinite possibility. You are source. You are infinite creator, without limitation, eternal, endless, never ending, never beginning, and free of constraints of any kind. You might call them blocks. If it's all you, and you are all that which is, why are you still cherry picking where that might be true in some areas of your life, but not all? Come back into breath, come back into presence. What do you think might happen if you applied this premise of all is one to all areas of your life without exception? What do you think might happen when you finally decide to drop the exhausting narrative of there's something wrong, and moreover, there's something wrong with me? What if you started to think and move from the idea that there's nothing wrong, and instead that everything, yes, everything, is happening for your benefit, because you, as infinite presence, set it up that way? Because woohoo, what an adventure that your soul wanted to have and was actually excited for. I mean, it's so simple, but it's so radical at the same time, because while it's a simple premise laid out here for you, living it, it's quite extraordinary, and it's quite radical, and it's quite revolutionary. But I'll tell you exactly what happens from my own sovereign choice to live this way, and to share it with basically anyone who wants to listen and come join me on this journey. You experience a seismic shift in your consciousness, in your awareness, and you break free from the traps and the spells rooted in confusion, keeping you at a frustrating plateau of mediocrity when you keep saying, I want more, 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 more. And you begin to live the life you truly desire. Everything opens up. And all the joy, peace, abundance, and love that you are, because you are all that which is, you're not doing anything to claim it. You stop gatekeeping it. You stop hiding it from yourself. And so I've got some parting thoughts for you to consider here. What if most of what you believe to be higher consciousness teachings are keeping you double-minded, confused, and frustrated in the exact same personal growth and financial prosperity plateau for far longer than necessary? What if most of what is still being passed around as spiritual wisdom is just more false religion? What if the majority of spiritual teachings directly conflict with the premise that you are one with all, that all is now, and that you're 100% responsible for creating your own reality? And maybe that's why most of us are feeling this complete disconnect. Why most of what we've tried has done more to lock down our human consciousness in mistrust, confusion, and despair than raise it up. There's a lot of promises in the spiritual marketplace of awakening and expansion. They sound really sexy and offer immediate results, according to them, like ordering enlightenment overnight on Amazon. But in reality, most of what's out there is empty as fuck. What if most of that is a grift? And you might think I'm just throwing shade to get you to buy my program, but here's the thing. A lot of people who come to me because they are part of this pack of disillusioned spiritual fucks like myself who are tired of the lies, tired of the empty promises, and want something that actually works. The here today, gone tomorrow gurus, they're great at peddling shiny distractions with sparkly labels. I mean, perhaps they're better at marketing than they are at anything else. Well, I'm done with that. And quite frankly, if you're listening this far, so are you. So, if you getting what I'm laying down here, I'm talking about refoundationing your entire life. Yeah, it's big. The work I offer is not for dabblers. It's not for looky-loos. It's not for tire kickers. It's not for cherry pickers. And if that's you, you're welcome to keep listening here, but I don't have anything else to offer you. Because the work I do is intimate and deep and incredibly transformative, because I don't happen to operate from the perspective that you do things and you change just a little bit. Change is total. Change ripples through the entire matrix of this illusion, and it ripples across all multidimensional levels of you simultaneously. Okay? So, cherry pickers, tire kickers, looky-loos, dabblers, what I'm offering here as a next step, it's not for you. Because I am talking about refoundationing your entire life, and that comes from living the essence of this premise that all is one in all you feel, think, and do. And what's cool is you don't have to believe any of it. You don't. And in fact, I tell my clients, please don't create any new beliefs for yourself, because as consciousness unfolds, that's just more shit you're going to have to unravel. You don't have to believe this stuff in order for it to work. How cool is that? All you have to do is move from this place of presence in oneness. Move and think from presence. Move and shift and be inspired to act from presence. Line up all you are and all you do with that. And yeah, it's radical, it's revolutionary, but it's also really simple. So again, tire kickers, looky-loos, dabblers, this is not for you. Don't waste your time or your money unless you're all in and you're keen to play full out in your transformation. I offer a pathway of liberation for fearless explorers only. That's my Liberate Flow 2.0 program. It's your roadmap out of the trap you built for yourself in an old identity that you were designed by you to transcend. And if you're recognizing through listening to me and feeling into the presence of all that which you are, that it's time to leave all of the spiritual half-truths, the endlessly recycled metaphysical teachings, the misunderstood quantum concepts behind, the ones that conflict with all of your oneness, it's time to leave all that shit in the dust. Because it just doesn't work. If it did, you'd be living a different life by now. And so I'm keeping the doors open on this one, but you should know that when we start teaching this program of Liberate Flow 2.0, we start teaching our 7+ weeks. We have a bonus 8-week class. We start teaching on the 23rd of September, 2025. Once we start, the investment increases. So if you're thinking about enrolling, do it before then. And your enrollment includes access to each future teaching that we'll do live of Liberate Flow 2.0 in 2026 and beyond. And it also gives you 2 months in the New Human Blueprint, my private community on School, where we're not on Faceplace and we can say whatever we want without censorship. And this will double up your level of support with this material, with liberating yourself from separation consciousness forever. So that's my offer to you. And come back to this. Listen to it once, twice, 10 times if you want to, because it goes a little deeper. It hits you on a different level every time you listen. Whether you decide to join the program or not, it's going to open you up. It's going to shift your consciousness. Think of it as a voice activation. So if you like this content, let me know that. Hit the like. You want more? Please subscribe. I certainly appreciate it, and it helps other fearless explorers like yourself to find this content and be lifted up by it. Helps me, helps the channel, and I sure do appreciate it. Thanks for listening, and lots of love.